right, ladies and gentlemen, check one, check two. Does my mic sound nice? Check one. Does my mic sound nice? Check two. Yes, indeed. The mic is sounding nice. Hopefully, the video will be just as good. I want to welcome all the live viewers and all the replay viewers. What's up? What's up? How is everybody doing out there? We in here like swimwear. Yes, indeed. How are you doing today? It's feeling real good out here. It's feeling real nice. All right. So we're going to get into it. I'm here a little bit earlier than what was scheduled. And we're going to talk about a subject that has been talked about for a while. And people got off of the subject because of other things going on. But we're going to bring it up and I'm going to pull it out from another perspective, per se. And with some videos I'm going to show you here in a little bit. All right. So yeah, we're gonna get just straight into it. Also, let me see here. There was something going on. Oh, I want to show you guys one thing here, real quick, before we go into. Let me just make sure here before we go into the meat and potatoes of this broadcast right here, of this live stream podcast. All right. Let me just pull something up. Yeah, there we go. There was shooting, as you guys know, and I just want to bring in a certain point so it don't get missed. All right, so let me pull this up real quick. I just want you guys to keep this in mind. All right, because things change. There's been a pattern. All right, I thought it'd be time to bring it out. This stuff I've been noticing off and on over the years. All right, so you guys see on the screen right now the Baltimore police released video of persons of interest. All right, with an S, not just a person, not a lone wolf. And you see like three people's pictures right there, right, regarding the Morgan State University shooting. All right, I just want y'all to take a look at that, and we have it documented in case storylines change, if you know what I mean. All right, just in case the storylines change, we want to keep it documented as to what they're saying, because over the years when they had big shooting events or certain type of bombing, remember the bombing that happened with the marathon, and some people were saying they were hearing over a loudspeaker that they were just doing the test, and all of a sudden a bomb exploded. And then you have other incidents where initially you have people saying when it was like more than one suspect, then all of a sudden the lamestream news medias all come out with the same script and start changing the suspect information and then turn it into something else. But when you talk to witnesses who are on the ground, you start noticing that they say something different from what is put out on the mainstream / lamestream media. That's why we're new black media, to bring out the facts, to break things down. All right. So I just want y'all to check this out here before we get into the main thing. All right. You see three people on there before they change it and say, oh, it's just one lone wolf. All right. And then later on down the road, they're going to say, oh, he had mental issues. All right. We're going to start exposing the game out here. All right. So I just want y'all to see that. All right. So now what we're going to do is get into the meat and potatoes. Erase the tomatoes of this podcast. All right. So the subject was out, maybe a few weeks ago. So people were talking about, are black women protected? they don't feel protected. Some people were saying that they feel like they shouldn't be protecting all black women. There were some people saying that if they're dating a black woman or they married to, sometimes the woman would say they feel like their man shouldn't be just going out randomly protecting black women, and all sorts of other little things, nuances in between, mixed in with all of that. All right. So we're just going to kind of talk about that today. And I'm going to play some video, a few videos, and kind of talk in between all of that. All right. So you know what it is. As always, you rocking with the best thoughts of the week. Let's get it.
And that's when we heard the words of the President of the United States that stunned the world and shocked the conscience of this nation.
Hush up, boy.
Hush up, boy.
And in that moment, I knew the threat to this nation was unlike any I had ever seen in my lifetime.
Do you support reparations for black people?
Well, listen, again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination, segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal but still exists and is a barrier to progress. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country. And in particular, black people have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the LIFT Act. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit black children, black families, black homeowners, because the disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities, and we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this. Any policy that will benefit black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No, because whatever benefits that black family will benefit that community and society as a whole and the country. Right?
I wanna rock with you, dance you in today. I wanna rock with you. We're gonna rock the night away. Out on the floor, there ain't nobody there.
You're rocking with the best thoughts of the week podcast. Yes, indeed, everybody. You are rocking with the best thoughts of the week podcast. And so we're going to get into it, man. All right. So again, black women, do you feel protected? All right. It's kind of a general question, or maybe a broad question. Do you feel protected from your man? Do you feel protected from any black man when you walk out in the street if you don't have a man? All right. Do you feel protected? All right. Do you feel protected from your husband? All right. If you have a husband and you're out in the streets and your husband can't be around, you work, your husband works, you got to go to work. You might be taking a lunch break. When you're out and about in the streets, do you feel protected even when your husband's not around? Do you feel protected as a wife Your husband's not around with you. You're at work. You're taking a lunch break, but there's other black men in the vicinity. Do you feel protected? All right. So that's the question. So now what I'm going to do is I want to pull up this video, and it's the first of 3 videos I'm going to play, and we're just going to kind of discuss some things about it. All right. So let's go ahead and play that video real quick.
2 men in on a little secret, ladies. Don't kill me for this, but women hate for a man to know his worth. I said it, yeah. We don't like that shit. Nigga come around thinking he know his worth. Oh, he too good for this, he too good for that. A man that know his worth ain't gonna let us play with him. And I don't like that. Me personally, I don't like that. Nigga, I need you to come around not knowing shit.
All right. So that's the first video. And let me see here. Let me see if we can do something here. We'll go ahead and play that back. So that's the first video. You have a woman here saying she, she understands and recognizes that a man who knows his worth won't go out and fool around with a woman like her. But she don't want nobody to know their worth. She don't want a man to know their worth. She didn't say a black man or whatever, but we're gonna assume that's what she's talking about, right? So my question is this a woman that black men, do you feel, should be protected? She already showing like, hey, she's hoping y'all don't know nothing. She don't want y'all to know nothing. She don't want you to know your worth, know your strength, know who you are, so on and so forth. So fellas, and I even asked the ladies, you can put it in the comments. You can comment live now. Is this a woman that should be protected? All right. Is this a woman that should be protected? Now, would I feel like I need to protect a woman like that when I know she's on all about playing games? Would I, knowing that if I seen this woman in the street and I said, oh, you the girl that said you don't want no man to know they worth, what would her response be if I said, you know what, you don't deserve to be protected out here? Would she start cussing me out? Would she start asking questions as to why I felt that way? Right? Would she get smart? Would she smart off? All right. Would she be offended? What do you guys think? A woman that says that. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that again real quick. And you ladies, y'all ladies and gentlemen, let me know what y'all think. All right. Y'all let me know what y'all think. One more time.
I'm gonna let 2 men in on a little secret, ladies. Don't kill me for this, but women hate for a man to know his worth. I said it, yeah. We don't like that shit. Nigga come around thinking he know his worth. Oh, he too good for this, he too good for that. A man that know his worth ain't gonna let us play with him. And I don't like that. Me personally, I don't like that. Nigga, I need you to come around not knowing shit.
All right, there you go. There you have it. So you guys let me know what you think about that one. All right. What do you guys think about that? Huh? Well, now I'm going to pull up another video here. We're going to listen to this one. I didn't really get to let me say something about this one real quick before I continue on. All right. So there's a part of me that will feel like if I seen somebody beating her down, just if it's another man or, whatever race, or somebody getting smart, getting in her face, I might watch a little bit and see, kind of evaluate the situation, if you will, before I decide to make any moves. All right. Before I decide to make any moves. But if I just kind of walked up and all of a sudden there's a crowd of people, and I just noticed her getting beat down, I think I would intervene, even though I would know this is the person that said that. But after I intervene and make sure everything is good, I'm just gonna probably just walk off and let it be that. Don't worry about any thank yous and nothing like that. Just kind of walk off to this into the sunset. All right. So I'm kind of divided about that, because knowing if this was the person I heard say, "Oh, you the girl that said this," and I'm watching her get beat down, I don't know. I guess it's the Black American man in me that might like, yo, let me make sure, she ain't getting her brains bashed in. And then once the situation is handled and I see that she's good, she's no longer getting beat down, then I think I'm just going to bounce up out of there and not hold any conversations with her and just let it be like that. All right. Now, another thought came to me, and I was thinking, like, now, if this was a situation where I did that, knowing this woman said this, and then if she got online again and went on live and started saying some real dirty, greasy stuff about the situation, like saying something like about me, like I helped, or oh, he didn't help good enough, or some crazy, I think the next time I will run into her, it's not going to be the same. I think I might have to act like I was watching bird watching or something. You know, I don't know. It might be something like that. So anyway, all right, let's get into the next video. All right, as the trains come by on the railroad tracks, let's watch the second video. Okay, let me get that one out of here. All right, we're gonna check out this next video, and I don't know how long it is, but we're gonna comment either in between. I think I'm gonna let the whole thing go first, and then maybe replay it again and start working through some stuff. All right. So let's check this one out.
To Black women not being protected, let me first state the obvious. No man should put his hands on a woman. We desire protection, but sometimes what we don't understand is that true protection comes with a level of control. Bodyguards are a good example. A bodyguard will make their client leave from a dangerous place. The bodyguard has to know all the details: who, what, when, where, why, and how. And the client has to listen to the bodyguard and follow the instruction that the bodyguard gives them. It's really an agreement between all parties involved. When the person who needs protecting does not follow the instruction and the direction of the protector, it puts the protector in a situation where they're more likely to lose their life. I have 4 brothers and a father, and I listen to their instruction even when they're not around. They have told me to stay away from certain places if I'm by myself or if it's late at night. They've also advised me not to be drunk or high in certain situations. Even though my brothers, my dad, and the men in my life protect me, I in turn protect them by listening to them and following their instruction. They don't have to come to my defense in some wild scenario, because if I listened to them, I wouldn't have been there in the first place. And this is another thing I feel like is pertinent to say, and I know folks ain't gonna like this one. I don't have sons right now, but when I do have sons, I'm gonna teach them that there's a difference between diamonds and dirt and rubies and rocks. Rubies and diamonds are often in jewelry stores. They're in glass cases, they're secured, there's an alarm system. There's a lot of layers of protection because those things are valuable. But you could pull over to the side of the road and find some dirt and rocks. Expecting a man to risk his well-being, his future, and his life on someone who does not see value in themselves or the man is asinine. That's a very asinine thing to ask. All I'm saying is, protection comes with a little bit of sacrifice. It comes with a little bit of control. And me personally, I feel that what I have to sacrifice and the amount of control I have to give up is 100% worth it to receive the protection that I've been getting my whole life.
All right, man. So she said a lot in that short period of time, and we're going to replay it back real quick. All right. And kind of break some things down, talk about a few things before we go on to the last video. All right. So let's go on and start from the beginning here. And yeah, let's talk about it. All right. Let's talk about it. So let's play it again.
In regards to black women not being protected, let me first state the obvious. No man should put his hands on a woman.
All right, that's obvious, so no need to really comment on that. No man should put their hands on a woman. And it gets real spicy and slicey, if you will, if a woman starts putting their hands on a man. Now, I'm going to make sure I say it in a certain way. If a woman goes on and starts attacking you for no reason or because they're upset and they just can't control themselves, as far as they allowed to say something, but when you say something back to them, they ready to pop off at the mouth and to start swinging on you, even though you didn't swing on them. Do you swing back at them like it's an all-out brawl? Or, fellas, if you got some skills, or even if you don't have skills, do you just make sure she doesn't put hands on you, you block them, do whatever you can to not swing back, put up your defenses, parry them, slip, throw blows and stuff like that? Do you do that? Or you just say, hey, look, you want to man up? Well, we going to man up, right? So I'm just keep that there. There's some questions thrown out at you, all right? So let's play this again. Let's play a little bit more.
No man should put his hands on a woman. We desire protection, but sometimes what we don't understand is that true protection comes with a level of control.
All right. She says, we desire, being black women, her as a black woman, and she's saying we, assuming that most or all black women desire protection. Now, again, I'm talking about the single black woman, the married black woman, or the dating black woman. Do you all desire protection? And then with that, do you understand there's a level, with comes protection, there's a level of control. All right, there's going to be some type of level of control, meaning that if you expected me as a stranger, we'll start off there, as a stranger in the street, I'm walking by, and then something goes down, and I come to intervene, whether it's through word or through action. If it's through word, it's going to be a level of control. I'm through my words going to try to, not like I'm trying to control you, but I'm going to be controlling you. Hey, look, sister, don't do this. Hey, look, back up from him. Don't get in his face. So there's going to be some control. And then if there's some mouthing off again, is that woman worthy of protection? All right. Now, in the sense of, if I'm dating someone or married to a woman, dating or married to him, would that woman understand there's a level of control when it comes to you wanting my protection? Meaning, I'm going to have to control how you move by my words. All right. I might have to put hands where I move you out the way to avoid you getting struck. Just like if it was a bodyguard situation and I had to come in between, put myself in between you as the woman I'm dating or married to, and the person that you're having a beef with, whether the beef is with you having it with another man or another woman. And I come in between, as my first instinct is, oh, let me make sure she don't get swung on. Let me back her up. Now, are you going to resist that level of control? I'm now controlling you. Or I'm verbally controlling you by telling you, hey, back up. Don't get in her face, back up. Are you going to respect that control? All right.
And comes with a level of control. Bodyguards are a good example. A bodyguard will make their client leave from a dangerous place. The bodyguard has to know all the details: who, what, when, where, why, and how.
And that's another part of the control piece. All right. I'm going to have to know what's going on. You might have an incident where you had a beef at your job. All right. Who was it? What happened? When? Is it somebody you know? Is it a regular customer you deal with on a day-to-day basis? Somebody that frequents where you work at? Is it a co-worker of yours? Male, female? Did you get threatened? Are you ready to deal with that as a protector, a bodyguard, even when I'm not there? Then when I give certain bits of advice to you, hey, next time you go out, do this. Next time, make sure you're aware of this. Don't go around doing this. If you got to go back there, you're going to have issue with a female coworker again. Hey, if it comes to blows, let me show you a few things you can do that'll kind of stop the situation pretty quickly and keep you from getting hurt. Are you going to follow with those directions, or you going to do your own thing? Are you the type of person, the woman I'm dating or the woman I'm married to, are you the type of person that just goes out and gets things started? Because that's another issue in itself, where there's been times where a situation that a man came to protect somebody really happened, and they don't know the situation. The woman just tells them a halfway story, and then the guy just runs with that, and the woman's not telling all the truth, and the man comes in, and all of a sudden they getting beat down, shot up, stabbed, because the woman didn't really give him all the facts. So the man can say, oh, wait a minute, nah, maybe you had something to do with it, or it looks like you had something to do with it. Don't be going back there running your mouth X, Y, and Z, right? So Black women, are you ready for that level of understanding of that there's going to be some control involved? All right. So let me go on and play that back again.
Understand is that true protection comes with a level of control. Bodyguards are a good example. A bodyguard will make their client leave from a dangerous place. The bodyguard has to know all the details: who, what, when, where, why, and how. And the client has to listen to the bodyguard and
right, just like I said, you as the woman I'm dating, the Black woman I'm dating, the Black woman I'm married to, or you might be a Black woman that's a stranger and I just happen to be coming by, and I'm telling you things to help you protect yourself, or I come in and intervene, and as I'm coming in, maybe I'm breaking something up. You might be you and your man, or it might be just a random man beating you down because you didn't want to talk to him, and all of a sudden they swinging on you, and I come in and I do certain things, make sure the dude is dropped or stopped, and then I tell you something. Are you going to listen to that, even as me being a stranger? All right, as me dating you or married to you, Black woman, and I tell you certain things, are you going to listen, or you just feel like, yeah, you just dating or we married, you ain't listening to all that? Or do you deserve to be protected in that situation? Do you really deserve to be protected? All right.
dangerous place. The bodyguard has to know all the details: who, what, when, where, why, and how. And the client has to listen to the bodyguard and follow the instruction that the bodyguard gives them. It's really an agreement between all parties involved. When the person who needs protecting does not follow the instruction and the direction of the protector, it puts the protector in a situation where they're more likely to lose their life.
Right. And that was the point I was talking about earlier. You don't want to take any direction. You don't want to take any advice, any leadership, and I'm the one protecting you, right? You put me in a situation that I can end up losing my life because you're not wanting to follow instructions that I'm giving you, that I'm trying to get you out of a situation from being harmed, hurt, you know, beat down or whatever. And you're just going to keep doing what you want to do, and you put me in a harmful situation. Are you the type of woman that when I'm coming to protect, you want to push my hand down out the way? That leaves me vulnerable to getting struck and getting hit. All right. So are you willing to have that type of understanding to be protected? All right.
I have 4 brothers and a father, and I listen to their instruction even when they're not around. They have told me to stay away from certain places if I'm by myself or if it's late at night. They've also advised me not to be drunk or high in certain situations. Even though my brothers, my dad, and the men in my life protect me, I in turn protect them by listening to them and following their instruction.
Right. So are you willing to have that level of understanding when you're being told something, your man is telling you something, or a stranger might be telling you something. Hey, sis, I think you should back up a little bit. You're too close. You're too close to this man in his face. And then me coming in between them. Yo, what's going on? Need to, back up. Right? Just even as a stranger looking at somebody, getting in somebody's face, and the person, and you as the woman saying, well, I don't know this guy. He just got in my face talking crazy, blah, 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 blah. Right? It's a real slippery slope because as the man, just feeling like I got naturally protect. I can be married or dating somebody, but I'm out in the street. I'm not with my lady, but I see you, and it looks like you needing help. It's real tricky because I don't know if you're trying to set me up. You're playing. You in on it with this guy, right? I don't know what your personality is as far as, are you a type of person that gets stuff started, until I sit down and again evaluate the situation, assess the situation as it's going down, and see, oh, this is a person that just runs them out. I might even then still give you instruction then, just as a stranger. And if you're the type that's like, man, shut up, I ain't you don't say nothing to me. I'm saying, look, sis, I'm trying to protect you. You want to still argue with this guy or this girl, you might just want to back up a little bit. Don't get too close. And I'm telling you because I know about the 3-foot rule and how things can go down and how you can't see certain things when you're close up. So I might be just offering, I might not be breaking it down at that time to you as a single woman and me just coming by and seeing that you need help. But are you going to follow those instructions? But then when I see that you're not, I'm assessing the situation like, oh, she's one of those that she's going to run her mouth. She's bound to get her head bashed in. I can't do nothing. I can't do much of nothing because she's still telling me this and that. I might give you a final warning and be like, all right, sis, I let you know, and, walk off, walk away. Just make sure at the time, nothing's going down at that particular time. And then once I'm out of there, then it's all on you, right? So let's continue.
And protect them by listening to them and following their instruction. They don't have to come to my defense in some wild scenario, because if I listened to them, I wouldn't have been there in the first place. And this is another thing I feel like is pertinent to say, and I know folks ain't gonna like this one. I don't have sons right now, but when I do have sons, I'm gonna teach them that there's a difference between diamonds and dirt.
She got a little bit deep, I think some women's being a little touched there. She gonna teach her sons the difference between a diamond and dirt. So that kind of goes back into what I was saying as far as, should I be protecting diamonds or do I protect the dirt when it comes to women? So she's pretty much saying there's a difference between diamond women or dirt women, right? So yeah, that's real interesting. She says she would teach her sons between the two.
I don't have sons right now, but when I do have sons, I'm going to teach them that there's a difference between diamonds and dirt and rubies and rocks.
Diamonds and dirt, rubies and rocks. So she's going to let her son know, oh, that's a ruby. You protect the ruby. Oh, that's a diamond. You protect the diamond. Oh, that's dirt. You don't protect dirt. Oh, she's rocks. You don't protect no rocks. You only protect diamonds and rubies. Interesting way of putting it.
Rubies and diamonds are often in jewelry stores. They're in glass cases. They're secured. There's an alarm system. There's a lot of layers of protection because those things are valuable.
Just like I said, teach your boys, hey, the difference between a diamond and rubies, because diamonds and rubies are always protected. They're encased. They're positioned in certain locations to where you can't get to them easy, right? If you get to them, then there's going to be some consequences involved. But when you just hanging around, you got a dirt woman or rocks, they not protected by anything. They just out there, out and about. Interesting way of putting it.
In some wild scenario, because if I listened to them, I wouldn't have been there in the first place. And this is another thing I feel like is pertinent to say, and I know folks ain't gonna like this one. I don't have sons right now, but when I do have sons, I'm going to teach them that there's a difference between diamonds and dirt and rubies and rocks. Rubies and diamonds are often in jewelry stores. They're in glass cases, they're secured, there's an alarm system, there's a lot of layers of protection because those things are valuable. But you could pull over to the side of the road and find some dirt and rocks. Expecting a man to risk his well-being, his future, and his life on someone who does not see value in themselves or the man is asinine. That's a very asinine thing to ask.
That's another thing. Do you value black men, even if it's a stranger? Now, remember that video? Some of y'all might know this one. Remember, there was a black woman at a Walmart or something like that. It was like an old school OG, old school dude, old school man. He looked like he probably was in his 60s, and a white guy got in the woman's face, and so the black man got in between them, and the white man was running off at the mouth, so the black man punched him either in the nose or the mouth. That was old school right there. So he was a stranger to the woman, and it looked like she appreciated it, right? He came to her rescue, didn't know the woman, but felt like, oh, you can't have this white man in her face like that, right? And then there was another incident where I kind of alluded to it earlier. There was two black women in the park, and it looked like a park setting. Then there was a white man, and I guess his son or daughter might have done something or to the black lady's child or said something to him. So then the white man supposedly said something to the child, and so the black woman was telling the white guy, like, don't be talking to my child, you tell me what's going on. Then he kind of got in her face and was making threats to her, but there were no other men out there until possibly it might have been a relative of hers, and this kind of showed up out the blue, a male. And then the guy's demeanor changed a little bit, but the white guy was still talking a lot of junk, even still, when the black guy came, the black cousin or relative came. And so, but things kind of changed. It was no longer kind of he wasn't in her face like that as much as when it started. So, yeah, man, it's just something to think about. Again, that's a nice way of putting it. Diamonds and dirt, rubies and rocks. Are you a ruby type woman or rocks that just you can ride on the side of the road and see all those rocks all the time? You can see a bunch of dirt everywhere you go. Are you dirt or a diamond that deserves to be protected? Some of that falls on you, ladies, because you can't expect no man, a stranger, or someone you're dating or married to be protecting you, and you have a dirt mentality or a rocks attitude, right? Do you think that you still is supposed to have protection with that type of mindset? All right, let's get it back in.
Rubies and diamonds are often in jewelry stores. They're in glass cases, they're secured, there's an alarm system, there's a lot of layers of protection because those things are valuable. But you could pull over to the side of the road and find some dirt and rocks. Expecting a man to risk his well-being, his future, and his life on someone who does not see value in themselves or the man is asinine. That's a very asinine thing to ask. All I'm saying is protection comes with a little bit of sacrifice. It comes with a little bit of control. And me personally, I feel that what I have to sacrifice and the amount of control I have to give up is 100% worth it.
So do you feel the same as she does? She feels to give up a little control and to sacrifice some things is well worth it for a black man's protection. All right. So you feel as a black woman, is that all worth it? Or you don't feel like, oh, they ain't controlling me, I'm gonna do whatever, and then get your face bashed in? Do you sacrifice a little bit for the protection? All right, let's play it again.
Control. And me personally, I feel that what I have to sacrifice and the amount of control I have to give up is 100% worth it to receive the protection that I've been getting my whole life.
All right, so there we have it. So what we're gonna do is play this last video, and then we're gonna get up out of here, man. All right, it's her again. It's Erica Lachey, and she did this video, and then after she done this video, something went down. So it may have something to do with what we're talking about today, or it might be a little bit off. But because she did a follow-up video to this video, I'm gonna go ahead and play that. All right, so let's check it out.
About black women and preventative protection, and how if you want someone to protect you, you're going to have to listen to them and try to avoid being in dangerous situations. And because you guys didn't like what I said, I received death threats. People wish that someone would bust my car window and pistol whip me. People wish that some people, or that they themselves, could find me and hit me with a brick. All these young girls that are out here that are still wet behind the ears but are aging like milk and bananas, calling me old. I'm not expecting y'all to be
She said the young girls is calling her old, and she looks very young. Even though she might be up in age, she looks young. And she said these young girls is aging like old milk and bananas. Yo, she's wilding. Let's play that whole thing again real quick. Let's play the whole thing through its entirety and maybe break some things down. All right.
protection, and how if you want someone to protect you, you're going to have to listen to them and try to avoid being in dangerous situations. And because you guys didn't like what I said, I received death threats. People wish that someone would bust my car window and pistol whip me. People wish that some people, or that they themselves, could find me and hit me with a brick. All these young girls that are out here that are still wet behind the ears but are aging like milk and bananas, calling me old. I'm not expecting y'all to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that, because I know y'all don't care. But I'm going to say what I want regardless, because I don't receive my self-worth and validation based on what people say about me online. I proudly grew up in a time before all of that, and my self-worth and validation is based on my principles and my character. Some of y'all wouldn't know nothing about that. So I'll say this again, for the people that have sense, preventative protection is the best kind of protection. For every other crime that exists, we understand that preventative measures is the best way to avoid said crimes. If I don't want my car broken into or stolen or vandalized, I'm not going to leave it unlocked with valuable things in my car. I know people personally who have gotten their car broken into several times. I've never gotten my car broken into, knock on wood. If I don't want to get robbed, I'm not going to go to the ATM late at night by myself, because that is not a wise decision to make. And you guys can say, well, that still doesn't stop people from getting robbed or their car getting stolen or whatever, but it greatly minimizes the risk. You feel me? Same thing when it comes to condoms and birth control. Condoms and birth control are not 100% effective, but it significantly minimizes the risk of you getting an STD or you getting pregnant. In addition to taking preventative measures by not being in dangerous places by yourself, actually listening to the men that tell you to take preventative measures is another way that will help to ensure your safety as a woman in this world. And to the ladies who have never had a man love them enough to try to prevent something bad from happening to them, you honestly have my sincere condolences. And to those of you who say, why don't you just tell men to stop abusing women? Why don't we hold them accountable? If telling someone to stop being an abuser, a thief, or a murderer worked, then the prisons, we wouldn't have a need for prisons. None of that would exist. So excuse me for living in the real world. I'm a very proactive kind of person. We can't change what happened in the past or things that have already happened to women, but we can help minimize the risk of those things happening in the future.
All right. So yeah, we're gonna play a little bit of it because she kind of went off on other things, kind of branched off that might have some connection to the original talk about being protected. So we'll just play a little bit of it, and then we're gonna get up out of here, man. Black women, do you feel protected? Do you deserve protection? If you are a dirt instead of a diamond, do you deserve protection? Are you a ruby instead of a rock? If you're a rock and not a ruby, do you deserve protection? Are you willing to listen and take guidance and leadership and advice when it comes to your protection? Because I might not be around you all the time, but I can give you some tips and advice about certain things. Are you going to apply it? I might be a stranger that just happens to walk up on you, might be arguing with two women, and I come in and try to separate y'all, make sure you don't get beat down. You might be dealing with a guy. Are you going to take advice on the spot as I'm giving it to you? I might just be standing by evaluating while you're just verbally arguing. You might be too close to the person as a stranger to you. And I say, hey, look, you might want to step back a little bit. Go on and say what you got to say to him, but back up some. Make some distance a little bit, because I understand from a self-offense perspective that being too close, you leave yourself open for attack. Will you take that advice? All right, so let's play a little bit of this.
I made a video about black women and preventative protection and how if you want someone to protect you, you're going to have to listen to them and try to avoid being in dangerous situations.
Right. Listening, taking advice. There's a level of control that you're going to have to release. There's a level of sacrifice you're going to have to make in order to get this protection. Are you, black woman, willing to do that?
Because you guys didn't like what I said. I received death threats. People wish that someone would bust my car window and pistol whip me. People wish that some people, or that they themselves, could find me and hit me with a brick. All these young girls that are out here that are still wet behind the ears but are aging like milk and bananas, calling me old. I'm not expecting y'all to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that, because I know y'all don't care. But I'm going to say what I want regardless, because I don't receive my self-worth and validation based on what people say about me online.
All right, I'm going to just leave it at there, because I think she's starting to branch off to different things, because she was saying that people got upset about her, what she had to say as far as being protected. So that goes to show there's other people out there that wasn't feeling what she was saying. So all those, and let's say they were women, so do those type of women deserve any protection? And we're talking about black women and black men. So do those black women deserve any protection from a black man when their mindset is like what she said? She started getting death threats. Some people wish they hit her in the head with a rock because she spoke her mind on the protection piece, getting protection from a black man. You guys let me know, man, and let me know what you think. All right. With that being said, I'm going to go on and get out of here, man, and be sure to stay with us. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Comment what you think about this particular episode. And comment on all the stuff I was saying, even what you might deem to be the bad stuff. Comment on that as well. All right. I appreciate y'all. Be sure to subscribe to Thoughts of the Week podcast on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. And if you're a subscriber on Spotify, you can also check out our videos on there now, because they're letting us do podcast episodes that we can upload now, so you can see the videos on Spotify as well. All right. Appreciate y'all, man. You are rocking with the best Thoughts of the Week. I'm out of here. Peace. You're rocking with the best Thoughts of the Week podcast.